Hello everyone, my name is Bob. Investment is really important for people because if they don't invest, then the economy would just shrink. It would just not be going to develop. So now I will talk about and also in the investments that there are a lot of factors that needs to be taken into consideration in order to make a good amount of to make a good amount of money back. And that's one of the factors of inflation. So now I will talk about the connection between inflation and the investment value. So that means that we have two parts. The first part will be how inflation affects the investment value, and secondly, it is how investment value affects the inflation. And then I will also talk about some ways that I can be able to invest for my own business during high inflation. I can be able to invest for my own business. Okay, so first I will just have a quick reminder about what is inflation and what is investment value. Inflation, it happens when the general prices of goods and services rise, and the inflation rate is how fast it is going. Or in other words, the purchasing power reduces. And then as of about the investment values, then it is just the investment values. It is how much does the investor gains from the investment. Investment is like shares or like a broader shares or like a portfolio that the investor buys or the customer buys in the hope of getting a profit. It's just that. Okay, so first, how the inflation affects the investment value. It is pretty straightforward with this one, because inflation, it makes the purchasing powers reduce. So it means that for the same amount of money now, for the same amount of products and services, people will have to pay more in order to get that in the future if the inflation rate rise. For example, for the same amount of, for example, people can do the same shopping with $100 a month, but then in the next year, then that person needs $105 to buy the same products. So that means it will affect the investment value because if people get money, but then with that amount of money, people would be able to buy less than if people have that amount of money now. So in other words, it could just reduce the purchasing power of the amount of money or the things that the value of the investment brought back to the investors. And then I will talk about how the investment values affect the inflation. So if the investment value of a company goes up, then it means overall that company is doing fine, because if the company is doing fine, then more people will be interested in that company's stock if it is going public. And so that means the stock prices will go up, and the investment values of the previous purchasers will rise. And for an economy, if an overall investment value rise up, or like more people start investing, then the economy is sure to be growing, and thus giving the central banks more power in order to control the inflation and reduce the inflation rate. And because business is growing afterwards. And now moving to my third part, which is about how how can I invest my own money for my own business? So first, there are obviously two options, two cases. The first is when it is a high inflation time, or in other words, in other words, like hyperinflation. And the second, and in that case, in the case of hyperinflation, so obviously prices are going very high, so I have to be able. So the ways I'm going to invest for my own business is that obviously I won't try to advertise in order to get more customers because, well, if customers have money. That means the ways I'm going to invest for my business during hyperinflation time or high inflation time, it is to invest in about reducing the costs and services by trying to by offering a products that the customer will have to be willing to buy. Because I will just take an example. For example, if for growth, they are learning how to edit videos, then people will have to use like, for example, CapCut Premium. But then CapCut announced the CapCut announced that they are going to raise up the cost, raise an extra 10%, $10 in their annual fees. Then are you going? Then does the growth make the switch? No, because if the growth switch to another company, switch to another product, then it will take a very long time and effort to train back from the start. So that means the way I'm going to invest for my product, which is like an educational product, is by trying to make new features and trying to make it like a part that the customer just can't replicate. And about the time when it has really low inflation, then my plan is just to hire more people into my own companies and then try to get the best person, try to develop my own companies, etc. Like the most of business do. I think that most of the time I will try to get more customers because if because the customer is still overall the thing that most business needs. So I will need to focus on the advertising, and then when I get enough customers, then I will just try to improve my products overall. And anyway, thank you everyone for listening to my videos, and thank you. And I hope you will have a great time. And goodbye.